we launched the boat in first week of August. Spent a bunch of time finishing off splices and tweaking the final layout. Finally got out one Tuesday night, which is the typical Tuesday night that these boats race. Two of us went down. The owner unfortunately couldn't make it due to a prior work commitment. And it was that kind of time. Do we light this thing off, or do we just take a deep breath and go for sail? So we were adults. We took a deep breath. We went for a sail. We actually kind of loosely lined up around a couple boats just to see what the boat looked like. And a lot of it was just simply getting baseline tuning, figuring out how the systems work. Did I miss anything? Rig tune. Okay, this makes sense. Oh yeah, we're in a full keel boat again, not a boat with separated foils. So that was a good first outing. All the boxes were ticked. Little punch list was generated as always. The first racing the boat has done under our ownership was the Opera House in Nantucket, which is a non-spinnaker race done using the CRF handicapping, so classic yacht rating formula. It was good. It was a nice day on the water. Nothing too exciting, nothing too tragic. That was a good outing. It was a great way to kind of sail the boat, see it around other boats, but not really. We didn't get to race against any S boats. It was just a handicap race. Our first one design event was the Herreshoff Rendezvous in Bristol, Rhode Island, which was great. It's an annual event at the museum. I believe we had 4 or 5 S boats. We ended up getting 2 seconds. It was a bit of a circular random race course. The second race of the day finishes, you go around Hog Island and you finish off the museum, which is quite good. The B&G system that we had on the boat allowed us to do some stuff tactically that others couldn't do, perhaps. May have run aground at one point, but it was a tactical grounding, so that worked out fine. And it was great. The boat started performing as we thought. And these old boats are kind of cool. They're fun. They're neat in their own way. It's just different. I don't know, that's what I like about the boat. Is it's always fun to go in a project and go, okay, what can you do without going crazy? But like, what can we do that's cool, different, and not different for the sake of different with an intent is always my thing. And then with all these boats, respecting the aesthetic and not just butchering the design. My favorite detail out of the entire thing, like most favorite part of this entire thing, was last Saturday when I finally got my son to go for a ride on it. And for a kid that's crazy skier, crazy mountain biker, it's about speed, it's about adrenaline. He liked sailing the Cape 31 a ton, had a ball. We were going 17, 18 the day he was on. And he drove this thing the entire time. We went out to do a kind of a sail check and look at a couple things I need to measure. Smile on his face, never stopped talking. Can we get one of these? I said, absolutely not. But we can use this one occasionally. And that was, to me, that was the greatest part, because he had the tiller in his hand the entire time. I mean, even put the thing back on the mooring. So a kid that doesn't like sailing his opti very much because it's boring was in love with this 98-year-old boat. It's kind of amazing. And he said to me, "Can we put the sails back on? Can we go again? Why do we have to haul the boat?" And that was the best. That was the best part of the thing. From the project itself side, I'd have to say that hiding everything and having all the systems work. There hasn't, since we've sailed the boat, there hasn't been like I shagged this system and it needs a total reconfiguration. A couple little hiccups here and there, but nothing you could even see unless you're me and you know where it is. It just came out clean as clean as I wanted it to be. Like, just the fact that everything's hidden, everything's clean. There's no visual distraction. So when the boat's sitting on the mooring, it just looks clean, empty, and perfect. And that's the biggest thing for me, is just having the boat look traditional from 35 feet away. You get up close, things get a little more modern, but it does respect what it's supposed to be for what it was. So one of the things that this particular owner is very fond of is carbon fiber. loves carbon, especially clear coated carbon. Um, so one point randomly in the middle of the project, he's like, "Can we get a carbon pole?" I'm like, "I think so." Did a quick peruse through the class roll. Yep, carbon poles are cool. Okay. Called up Moore Brothers, ordered a tube, and got a carbon pole. So we got the tube. I assembled the pole, and it's got the just kind of the shiny pull tape finish on it. And I said to him, "If you're good and I have a little time, I'll sand the pole and we'll get it clear coated, like super glossy." He's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do that." So that was kind of one of the nods to the modern, which is great. Carbon poles are great. It's lighter, it's easier, it's stronger half the time. Uh, so that's kind of one of the owner's favorite details. And then the other thing I have to make for the iPad is we figured out the bulkhead just in front of the Traveler. There's a door in it that doesn't actually stay in place very well. It's a like a hatch drop in. So I popped that out, threw it in the aft space, and it's really nice to use as a catch-all for VHF, iPad. You got a sweatshirt on or you got a dry top, you throw it in the back there. So I get to make a carbon fiber easel to put the iPad in because I kind of propped it up on a life jacket, and he's like, we'll make an easel. Can you make it out of carbon?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can make it out of carbon." He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do a carbon easel." Okay, we'll do a carbon easel. So that's one of the little pieces of jewelry I have to do, and also have to reinvent the boards for the electronics, the four displays. They kind of got put in haste and weren't reinforced like I probably should have. So they met their demise, but they did last all the races we needed to. So that was that's kind of on the list for the winter. Previously, we had wooded the bottom, which is removing all the paint. Uh, Due to timing and a couple of chemical interactions, we weren't able to put a racing bottom on. So that's one of those. We will be doing a full racing bottom, wet sanded, polished, soup to nuts. The boat will be splined this fall. So all the topside seams will have the cotton removed, and they'll go in with soft splining material. The boat will be repainted. The interior is going to be stripped and repainted, and kind of playing with some ideas of, do I satin finish the frames in satin, they're clear satin varnish, and then do some white. So that's kind of a neat, tidy the boat up. We're adding some take-up reels for the halyard tails, which are quite long. There's refining rigging lengths. The outhauls for both the main and jib boom need a ton of attention. Converting some of the remaining metal rigging to synthetic where it's possible. Kind of wasn't able to tick all the boxes. And then it's, refining sail fit, just looking for, getting things just a little bit better. And then it's getting the boat in the water early in the spring, making sure we can do all the Tuesday nights in Newport, getting our schedule set up for next season for going to Maine, getting that planned. That's the big move. As one of my friends at the Brooklyn Boatyard said, remember, the boat needs to come up here early because it's going to dry out going 65 on the highway. And I went, ooh, good point. So, kind of changing how we plan, even going to an event. So kind of getting all that mode out. But yeah, that's so much of it. It's just getting all the stuff we didn't get done prior done, which that list never ends. It's getting shorter though. It's getting much shorter.